John, some interesting stuff there, certainly from some of the questions. Three things leapt out. The first one being the Home Secretary's rather strong language when she described how she has been treated in some parts of the country, for which she was reprimanded by the Deputy Speaker. There were questions about return hubs, but not an awful lot of detail there. And also more than one question about the removal of things like jewellery from asylum seekers claiming asylum to potentially pay for the process as well. Just tell us about those elements.
Well, that wasn't for the squeamish, was it? She was on fire, and I think all those Labour MPs who want Miss Sir Keir Starmer to go, well, I think Wes Streeting's got a rival after that performance. Yes, I mean, she really did come out fighting, and she began by attacking Kemi Badenoch after Kemi Badenoch offered the Tory support to get legislation through. I'm not taking any lessons from the Conservatives, she said. She attacked the questions about jewellery came from the Labour MP Sarah Owen, Luton North, when she talked about snatching of jewellery and so on. And she said very angrily to her Labour colleague, "No, we're not doing that, and please stop perpetuating that story. It is not true." She tore into Pete Wishart of the SNP, who mentioned support from Tommy Robinson. She called Robinson a vile racist. And when Danny Kruger, the newly defected Tory to Reform UK MP, invited her to join Reform UK, she said, "Over my dead body." But the most explosive clash came, perhaps surprisingly, with the Liberal Democrat spokesman. He is Max Wilkinson. He's a former journalist who defeated the former Justice Secretary Alex Chalk in Cheltenham at the last general election. And he accused the Home Secretary of stoking division with some of the language that she used. And she hit back in the most brutal terms. There's some language here which I think we will have bleeped out. She got a ticking off for the Deputy Speaker, Caroline Noakes. This was Max Wilkinson and the riposte from Shabana Mahmood.
I have to say to the honourable gentleman, I wish I had the privilege of walking around this country and not seeing the division that the issue of migration and asylum system is creating across this country. Unlike him, unfortunately, I am the one that is regularly called a and told to go back home. It is I who knows through my personal experience and that of my constituents just how divisive the issue of asylum has become in our country. And I do say to him, I wish it were possible to say that there isn't a problem here, that there's nothing to see and that it is all in fact just extremist right-wing talking points. But this system is broken, and it is incumbent on all members of Parliament to acknowledge how badly broken the system is and to make it a moral mission to fix this system so that it stops creating the division that we all see. And I do say to him, I do not think it is acceptable or appropriate for people in this place to not acknowledge the real experience of those who sit outside of this House. We are supposed to be in here to reflect that experience in this House, and I hope that he will approach the debates that we will no doubt have on all of these measures in that spirit.
Yeah, we certainly did bleep that one, John. For those who didn't see it, it was the F word, followed by possibly one of the most offensive racist terms, beginning with P, that the Home Secretary talked about there. She did apologise afterwards, but also referred to the fact that that is the kind of thing she hears out in the country.
Well, there was a real flash of anger there, wasn't there, from Shabana Mahmood, who absolutely ripped into Max Wilkinson. And yes, it was all very personal, wasn't it, about her personal experiences. And well, you say she apologised, but I'm not sure she would have done if she hadn't been told to by the Deputy Speaker, because she was clearly very angry. I mean, this has been a really fighting performance by Shabana Mahmood on obviously a hugely contentious issue. She has managed to get up some opposition parties supporting some of her measures. For Kemi Badenoch, her approach really was to say, incidentally, it was Kemi Badenoch who answered for the Tories, not Chris Philp. Obviously, Kemi Badenoch wanted to lead from the front on this one. She talked about, I think she talked about how it's fine as far as it went, but it needed to go further. She talked about the European Convention of Human Rights, quite predictably. And we heard from the Father of the House, who gave her, I think it was 7 out of 10, he said, and talked about her conservative instincts and so on. And but then Shabana Mahmood, I mean, earlier in her speech, and she spoke for quite a while, towards the end, she talked about Labour being the party of Great Britain, not the Little Englanders opposite. So it really has been a real combative performance from Shabana Mahmood, and really establishing her reputation as a tough Home Secretary. One thinks, when you think of recent tough Home Secretaries, you think of David Blunkett, perhaps John Reid on the Labour side, perhaps Michael Howard on the Conservative side. And it is, if you think, it's only 70 days since she took over from Yvette Cooper, who, and of course, she has really changed things dramatically in those 10 weeks.